Hello and welcome to the VET S.O.S show brought to you by the Who You Know Network. The VET S.O.S show is your career transition lifetime. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We've got my co-host Shawn Welsh here with us. He
What's
is,
going on?
yeah. How are you, Shawn?
I am doing outstanding. How about you, Mark?
Good. I am doing great. Thank you. Shawn and I are veterans, and Shawn is actually still currently active duty Army. He is getting ready to out process
Very
and
close.
separate from the service. Yeah, big time, short time. So short time, big time, I should say. So we are passionate about bringing resources to you for your transition, whether you're active duty, getting out and going into the civilian sector, whether you're already a veteran looking for your next successful opportunity, or maybe you're a spouse or family member and you're looking for a career transition or your next great job. So
Absolutely.
get ready for some fire. We got some fire today because we've got today's guest, Alfredo Torres, Matt Scher, Don Gleason, and Brett Courier. We're going to bring all of those folks to you in this and subsequent episodes. But before we do that, we want to give some shout outs in the comments. We've got Seth. Hey, Seth. We've got Dion. Hey, Dion. Hey, guys, if you are just tuning in, make sure that you hashtag and share what you're looking for. If you are in transition, what is your specialty and what kind of job are you looking for? And rep your city. Where are you tuning in from? Shawn, where are you at?
Oh, I'm down here in Richmond Hill, but more specifically, I want to know which bases they're calling in from. So I'm repping Fort Stewart, Georgia right now.
That's right. That's right. So when I was active duty, I was Lackland Air Force Base, San Antonio. So shout out to all the folks down at Lackland and Randolph and
Been there
all of
many
them, Fort
times. Love
Sam,
it.
Kelly, yep, etc. Well, Shawn, you've got a little bit of time under your belt with some shows, so I do want to give you a little bit of highlight there. You've been diligently creating on your own and are now joining in with us. So you've got your is that a service dog there?
No, I've actually been asked that several times. That's my 15-month-old puppy. She is a toddler tearing up our house. It does, I guess I do kind of look like I'm blind with the sunglasses on.
I was gonna say, well, hey, you've got a toddler. I've got a human toddler, and he likes to tear things up at our house too. So I've got some more pictures coming, but I did
Oh,
find this gem here. Look at this gem. Basic
there you go.
training, 1995, going live. So
That
yes,
is great.
we love our veterans. We love our active duty. We love our service members. Um, but again, this show is to bring you the resources that you need, right? Because Shawn, you've been out finding a bunch of resources, and a lot of them, would you say, are maybe more regional, right, in nature?
You definitely have the regional ones. There are national ones as well. The biggest thing that I'm seeing as I go through it is every one you go to or check out, you find 10 more. There are just so many resources out there. And a lot of the ones that we talk about will, tend to be the national level ones, the bigger ones that everybody may already know about. But those regional ones, those state level ones, even just the community level ones are just fantastic, doing great things. And I'm looking forward to bringing some of that information forward too, so people can learn about those in the areas they live.
Yes, absolutely. You've used this title, and we know it fairly well, but VSOs, right? Veteran service organizations
Absolutely.
are a plenty. Like you said, they just kind of come out of the woodworks when you start doing a search for them, right?
Yep.
But a lot of them don't get the national attention, and that is part of why we're leveraging our network in the Who You Know,
Yes.
as well as through this show to bring you those resources, those organizations. So, also in this channel, in this stream, a special thank you to everyone who's been pairing your channels to help
Yes.
spread the word. We're using a platform called Restream, which pushes out to our live channels. If you would like to learn how to live stream this show as a piece of original content to your channel, put hashtag pairing in the chat and I will send you a DM with the instructions for our next and upcoming episode. So be sure to share that, spread the love. As we like to say in our network, hashtag pay it forward.
Absolutely.
Pay it
Yes.
forward.
Pay it forward.
That's right. So, rather than going over our bios and everything like that, because this is the inaugural show for VET S.O.S, we want to give you a little bit more detail, get you familiar with us. Who
Uh-oh.
are we? Who is Mark Elder? Who's Shawn Welsh? Before
Behind
we
the
get into
curtain.
our guests. Yeah. So,
Absolutely.
Shawn, you want to start off and tell us kind of what's going on, where you're coming from, why are you here?
So first and foremost, I want to send a big thank you out to the Who You Know Network in general, just for offering this up as a platform for the veterans, something that we can get the information out there and really help share it. It's just amazing how much support I've gotten from you and Trevor to put this project together and try to push it out. So this is phenomenal. I'm really excited about it, and I can't wait to see how we get to actually help people. As far as I'm concerned, I am 19-year veteran, closing in on my 20, or I'm sorry, active duty service member, closing in on my 20, about to become a veteran. I'm so excited I can't get veteran out.
Right.
Been married for 21 years, have two boys, one 17 about to be a senior, and one 12 going on 35. Already thinks he's well past his teen years. So we're down here, like I said, in the Savannah area, Richmond Hill, Georgia, and then we'll be retiring and moving down probably the Jacksonville area, taking part in that local community and the veteran support organizations that are down there, which are just phenomenal. So looking forward to that opportunity. I have been an intelligence analyst my entire career, so doing a lot of that. Love to be in front of people talking. Senior non-commissioned officer. Love to help people as much as we can. That's what we do with our soldiers. We help them, we motivate them, we teach them, train them, get them ready to go out there and do what they have to do. So that's a great thing about what we're trying to do here. We're going to take all those resources that we're digging up and finding, all those key people that people may not even know exist. They know the organization, but they don't know the strength behind it, which is the people. So hopefully we're going to hear some great stories from these people. We're going to hear about the different organizations, maybe some things you didn't know about the organizations. And that just excites me. As someone going through the transition right now, I am so excited to meet some of these people that maybe I haven't even had the chance to meet yet, and then learn more about the organizations. So
Yeah.
this is a great thing, and I can't wait to see where it goes. So what about you, Mark? What's your background? How did you wind up on this show?
Yeah, that's a great question. What am I doing here? So, um, I have served as a medic in the United States Air Force. I went in '95. I actually did a short stint, got out in '99, so I did not retire. Although I had heavily considered it. I had actually been on a special duty assignment working as an executive admin or assistant to a major general in the Air Force, the wing commander for Wilford Hall Medical Center in the 59th Medical Wing, who subsequently went on after I left to be the Surgeon General of the Air Force.
Oh,
So, yeah,
who you
very,
know?
very, very high profile guy. And, as we say in the network, it's not what you know, it's who you know. So I certainly probably could have transitioned with him. As a matter of fact, my roommate, who also we got into the command section of the 59th Medical Wing, he did go on to work with Major General Carl, who became Lieutenant General Carlton at the Pentagon, and he is
Nice.
actually still a congressional advisor right now. Um, and he was a chief master sergeant, command sergeant in the Air Force. So my time was in the Air Force, United States Air Force, but I got out and then through my career have just developed a big network. And so now I'm in a financial services practice, but I will say that also co-host of the Who You Know Job Networking Show, which is the parent organization under the VET SO or over the VET SOS show, this show. And as we always say, like you just mentioned, it's not as much what you know, it's who you know. So
Absolutely.
that can make all the difference in your job search, whether you're active duty, whether you're a veteran, whether you have any military ties at all. We know that the job search is broken in many cases, in many aspects, and
Yeah.
it takes sometimes a helping hand, a who you know moment to get landed to your next successful position. So we both are family men. I've got three boys. They're 7,
Nice.
5, and 3. So I've got a little bit of a later start. I'll be that old gray haired guy at their graduation. People say how nice it was for the grandpa to come, to the graduation. That'll be me.
Nice.
But yes, so have toddlers myself, human toddlers, and it's been just a great experience getting to be a dad and being around, seeing my boys grow and develop. So I'm super passionate though about the veteran space and community, active duty service members, military families who don't get the credit
Oh yeah.
that they deserve and need sometimes. A little bit more of my background. I was adopted. So I was born in Seoul, Korea. I was adopted. I was left on a doorstep of a doctor who ran an orphanage, and I was
Well,
adopted when I was 5 months old. Flew on a big metal stork over to O'Hare International Airport, where my parents picked me up, and grew up in Northern Illinois. Um, didn't really identify right as a patriot, as very patriotic growing up necessarily, although I was very grateful for my upbringing and the opportunity that it gave me. It wasn't until I actually decided to go into the Air Force, right, that things started to hit me. And, now since having the opportunity to serve my country, I feel like I'm one of the biggest patriots out there, right? Like I wasn't even born here, and I feel like I have done my part by serving our military, by serving our country, um, more than a lot of Americans do, right? That were actually born here. So
absolutely.
that's part of the reason why I'm so passionate about being on this show, bringing resources to you guys, helping this community. So um, one of the things that we do want to highlight is some of the future resources that we're going to bring in this show. So we're going to have tips of the week as far as resumes, LinkedIn, social media, interviewing skills, um, networking, how to
Definitely.
properly network, because that's a big one for I think active duty coming into the.
Absolutely. Yes. Got to do the networking piece.
Yeah, big time. We heard that already from some of our guests that are going to be coming on. We're going to bring a job of the week, perhaps. So hopefully we can get into a point where we can highlight a job of the week and or perhaps a recruiter or company of the week. We want to highlight landings. So if you are, again, in a career transition, whether you're active duty, whether you're veteran, military family member, let us know if you have landed to your next successful position. We want to highlight that. We want to give you a shout out and kudos, celebrate with you, have a donut,
You can
right?
only have the donut once you're off active duty, though.
Yeah, well, that's right. That's right. Well, tell us what the donut is. You know what the donut's all about?
I do know that Trevor loves donuts, and that's how he celebrates the landings.
Yes.
Um,
Let me
I
give you
get
the background there. So, in the career transition groups, in the career transition network in DFW, Dallas Fort Worth, where I'm at, is enormous. Probably one of the largest in the country. Is one of the support networks in the country for folks in career transition. A lot of networking groups, and so when people used to come in person pre-pandemic, and they were coming to announce that they had landed and share that with the group, they would bring donuts. And
okay.
so if you came into the group in the morning, right, like Frisco Connect or some of these other groups, Career Search Network, Fort Worth, and you saw donuts, you got excited because number
Yeah.
one, you got a free donut. And number two, you got to hear about somebody's journey, about how they landed, what worked for them, what didn't work. So we always celebrate landings with a donut. Now, if you come and share with us and you didn't get a full-time permanent position, but you get a contract, you get to celebrate with a donut hole. Do you know why
There you
that
go.
is?
All right, with a donut hole, I like it.
Because it's not a whole job. It's not a whole job. I gotta give props where they're due. That is Foster Williams, aka the Job Father.
Okay.
He leads Frisco Connect, and that's his joke. That's his dad joke. So I'm full of them too, but I won't. I'll spare you. I'll spare
I,
you the
I
dad joke.
love that you brought those three pieces up, though, that we're going to incorporate into the show because one, we are closely tied to the Who You Know Network in the Who You Know show, which I love the fact because the military transitioning people are in the same boat. They're looking for that job. They need the networking skills. If we can bring in, some of those assets that teach about resumes and interviewing techniques and things like that, it's going to be huge for them. And maybe they make that direct connection, and because they didn't know where to start. And then if we get to celebrate the landings, that's just icing on the cake for sure. The big thing is a lot of these corporations have veteran specific recruiters. I'm really hoping that we can try to tie into some of them and bring them on so that we can not only, talk about the VSOs that are out there, but you can also tie in that job search and the who network, and help people actually try to find something.
That's
So
right.
the possibilities are endless, in my opinion, for this. This is just amazing.
Well, I mean, tips, tricks, resources, insights, best practices, all very important. And so, one of the things that I want to make sure we're very clear on, and I know, Shawn, you and I are on the same page about this, but you can go and talk to 50, I don't care, 500, 5,000 people about your resume. Have them read it, give you some tips and tricks, and have them tell you what's right or wrong with it. And you know what? If you go to 5,000 people, you'll likely get 5,000 different answers, right? And
It's
guess what?
just like getting your eval previewed by the command sergeant major. Every one of them will do it differently.
That's right. That's right. And so here's the thing: every single one of them's right, and every single one of them's wrong. Because the only thing that really matters is where it works,
Yep.
right? And so we want to make sure that you're getting the technical and strategic side of the job search, but at the same time, the um, less known, probably more abstract ideas about your search, and that's networking, right? That's networking. Um, what so like right now, looking at your transition, being short time and getting ready to out process, what was one of the biggest pieces that you needed help with? Was it the technical and tactical side, or was it more the social and networking side?
It's probably all of the above, honestly. Being in intelligence, I steered away from social media. I have been fairly non-existent on social media until about 8 months ago, and it all started with the job summit, going to the career summit, and sitting through that and seeing some of the ways that you guys show people that they can network. And from there, it was a jumping off point really for me on LinkedIn. And then simultaneously, I started looking at the VSOs and reaching out to the different organizations that help in certain areas, because I have never technically had to write a resume. So, I mean, I joined at 28, so I was a little later, but I went straight from college. The job I was working, I wound up taking over my own retail store. So it was just a transfer. I didn't have to do a resume or anything like that. So I've never had to do that piece of it. Interviewing, I've done a little bit of that, but you can always brush up on those skills for sure, because you can look great on paper, but you bomb the interview, it doesn't matter what your paper says. So tying those two together and making it work is just absolutely huge. So for me, it was like all of the above. I needed a little bit of everything, and part of the point I'd like to add on to what you were saying though is, even with these VSOs, not every one is for everybody. We're going to introduce you to a bunch of things. You got to find the ones that work for you, because some are going to be great for you. Some maybe not as beneficial, and that's okay. It doesn't make them right or wrong. It's just not a good fit for you. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And that's where you have to filter through and see what all's out there.
That's right. Yeah. So the network is full of, again, the VSOs, but there's also a ton of opportunity from you to learn from experts on crafting your resume,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because you're right, Shawn.
Absolutely.
A lot of service members who have a career, right, a military career, may never have had to write a resume,
Yep.
right? Very likely. They also have never had to worry about being on LinkedIn, right? So that's a big one. Making sure that your professional profile in cyberspace is up to date, current, and relevant, right? And translatable too, right? Translatable. Interviewing skills. How many times, obviously you have your boards, right? When you're trying to rank up, and you've got um, opportunities maybe to go work in special duty assignments or whatever that you may have to interview for, but it's so much different. How many of you, I know, I've interviewed veterans, right?
Yeah.
And me coming out, probably early on in my career, stiff as a board in an interview, right? Stiff as a board, very, very polished, right? Very protocol oriented. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Right?
So the Army is actually changing that a little bit. The
Okay.
On the officer side, they now have this AIM system as they try to move into talent management. So they actually have to rack and stack where they want to go for their next job, and they wind up having to actually
Oh,
interview with people.
okay.
So it's still a military interview in military, but they are definitely moving, I think, more in that direction, which will help a lot of people transition.
Oh, that's awesome to hear. What a great addition, right,
Yeah.
to your military career, especially the officer level. Enlisted, right? Is that how you tell me, right? It's been a few years since I've been in, so the last few changes in duty assignments. What was your experience like there?
This is a family show.
That's right. Yeah, Shawn, this is where you're going.
Yeah, exactly. So, uh, although if you ever talk to a branch manager, they'll tell you that you picked your assignment. They gave you two options. You got to pick between those two options. Um, Now they're trying to enroll it on the NCO side as well. So they're trying to do the right thing and get out there and let soldiers have a little bit more control over their assignments and where they go and how their career path goes. Because you could pick an assignment because say you want to be in Hawaii. Well, maybe going there isn't beneficial to your career, and you just stopped your progression. So there is that double-edged sword there potentially. But
Mhm.
the Army is trying to move towards that talent management piece. So this system, it's still in its infancy. I think we're on like the second full year of going through it. So there's some hiccups, there's some bugs, but it seems like people are starting to get in the groove with it and understand how it works.
That's going to be a game changer for people that are out processing.
Oh yeah,
That they have that experience under the belt. That is absolutely going to be a game changer. So
definitely.
excited to hear that. Super
Yep.
excited.
And I don't know if the other services are doing it. I need to do some research and find out.
Yeah, yeah. So, and I should have said this at the beginning, or we should have said this at the beginning, right? We are service and veteran open, right? So, Army, Navy, Coast Guard, Marines, Air Force,
We'll make fun of
uh,
everybody.
Civil Air Patrol. I don't care. You're military related. Like, let us know. Join our
Absolutely.
show. Tune in. Share it. We want to get the word out about these resources to you and as many of your colleagues and peers as possible. So we want to make this as impactful as possible for you. What are some of the other things that you want to bring to the show, Shawn?
Really, it comes down to the sharing piece that I'm really passionate about because as I go through this process myself, the number of peers that I meet that have no idea. They are way behind the power curve. So if they're in that situation, how are their soldiers? Because their soldiers are going to eventually get out as well. So they're probably not really tracking on much. And what about their leaders? If their leaders didn't pass anything to them, how much are they missing? So just trying to get as much information out there as possible is really one of the biggest things that I want this show to do, and just to increase that awareness. And some of the people we bring on, you're gonna know them. Most people that are transitioning know who Alfredo Torres is. They've
Mm-hmm.
seen him on something, they've heard him on something. He's out there, which is great. But I'll tell you, he's still fun to listen to every time he talks.
Yeah,
And then there's going to be people we bring on that you may have never heard about, and that's great. Spread the word. Maybe they're doing something that's going to help you or help one of your soldiers or service members, and you're helping them down the road and paying it forward. It's all about just trying to help, especially those coming behind us.
yeah, absolutely. Pay it forward. Hashtag pay it forward. As a matter of fact, type in hashtag pay it forward there in the comments. Let us know that you are ready and willing to pay it forward, because there's going to be a lot of help thrown your way, right? If you engage here with us, with our network, we're going to throw a lot of help and resources your way. And we want you to do the same. Pass
Absolutely.
those blessings along, right? Get that information out to your network, um, to your brethren. Make sure that you're doing your part, because there's a lot of help out there, and we want to build the network, and it's not going to build unless we're paying it forward, which is what we're trying to
Absolutely.
do here. So
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are going to also be bringing a few other things. We are going to have in the future some giveaways, so a little bit of an incentive for you to stay tuned and to continue to tune in. We want to bring you resilience and hope, and we want to make sure that if there's anybody that we can connect you with to help your mission, don't hesitate to let us know. Right? Let us know. We want to be intentional in taking everything to the next level, and creating world changers like you guys. You guys
Absolutely.
are that
Yes.
are already out there, in the muck.
In the trenches, definitely.
Yes, yes. So, one of the other things that we haven't done yet is maybe talk about what the upcoming guests are going to be talking about. So, in the future or concurrent episodes that we're getting ready to release, we've got Alfredo Torres. He's with Virginia V3, the Department of Veteran Affairs, Virginia.
Yeah.
We've got Matt Scherer. He's been helping military professionals transition with the Military Roundtable. He's one of the co-founders there, along with Don Gleason, who
Yes.
is a Air Force engineer, civil engineer, and he's also doing some consulting with Booz Allen. Has some experience with Maxwell Leadership, the Maxwell Leadership team, and is part of the Military Roundtable. And then last but not least is Brett Courier and Aaron. Tell me Aaron's last name again.
Welch, almost
Aaron
like mine with a
Welch.
C.
Yeah, Aaron Welch. Okay, that's right. That's right. I was like, that's your last name. Yes, Aaron Welch. So Brett Courier and Aaron Welch are with Vet Gigs. So those are the subsequent episodes coming up here in the upcoming several weeks. So make sure that you tune in for those, and make sure that you hashtag hashtag VET S.O.S in your posts. Also share this feed to your network, but probably more importantly than sharing, because sharing is a little bit of an old school technique in social media. More importantly than that, tag. So get out there and tag. And if you don't know how to tag, it's the at sign and then somebody's name, and it will populate. And you can actually tag somebody in this feed
Yep.
that you think may need to know this information, be aware of this show, get plugged into the network, will get some value from our content. So be sure to tag those that you know. And also, if you're in transition right now already and you're trying to get into a company and you know a recruiter, a hiring manager, somebody that you're trying to plug in with, tag them here too. Why not?
Yes,
Tag
get
them
them
here.
on
Let
here.
them know.
And we're already starting to book for the next set of recordings as well. So if we have people in the audience that are involved with the VSO, send us an email, send us a note. We'll DM you, get you on the show in the future so you can talk about yourself, what you're doing, why you got into it, and what your organizations do. It's all about just sharing that information and helping people move.
Absolutely. Affirmative. Sharing is caring. So, guys, we are getting down to time. I definitely want to thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being engaged here, for helping expand the network.
Yes,
And we can't wait to celebrate with you if you're in transition when you get
definitely.
landed. Let us know. All right. Thanks, guys. Again, VET SOS is your
Yes.
career
Career
transition
transition
lifeline.
lifeline. Yes, love it.
That's right. All right. Talk to you guys soon.